Chosen one, I need you to stop everything and focus completely on what I am about to tell you. Because something happened exactly 72 hours ago that you didn't even realize was happening. You were so exhausted, so overwhelmed, so depleted that you didn't have the mental capacity to recognize it as a test. But it was the final evaluation, the last exam, the ultimate assessment that determines whether a soul is ready to carry real spiritual authority or whether they need to go back and repeat the preparation phase. And here is what you need to know. You passed. Not barely passed. Not passed by a narrow margin. You passed with such distinction, with such undeniable demonstration of transformed character, that the spiritual realm had to immediately convene what ancient texts call the Council of Elevation. And tonight, at exactly 3:33 in the morning, something is going to happen in dimensions you cannot see with physical eyes, but your soul will absolutely feel. Heaven is going to officially commission you. Not symbolically, not metaphorically. Actually, literally, in the unseen realms where spiritual authority is granted, you are going to receive clearance to operate at a level you have been training for your entire life without knowing it. Now, before you think this is going to make your life suddenly easy, before you imagine that promotion means everything becomes smooth, let me stop you right there. What is about to happen tonight is not a reward for good behavior. It is a recognition that you can finally be trusted with greater responsibility. And greater responsibility always comes with greater challenge. But here is the difference. After tonight, you will face those challenges with access to spiritual resources you didn't have before. Wisdom that downloads instantly. Discernment that operates automatically. Peace that remains unshakable. Authority that doesn't need to announce itself. That is what happens when heaven commissions someone. Not comfort, but capacity. Not ease, but empowerment. Not rest, but readiness. Let me tell you what that test was 3 days ago, because you need to understand what you actually passed between roughly 4 in the afternoon and 8 at night. Something happened that pushed you past your breaking point. Maybe it was a conversation that went completely wrong. Maybe it was a situation that triggered every old wound you thought you had healed. Maybe it was a moment of such profound loneliness that you couldn't even cry anymore. You just sat there in numb silence. Maybe it was a betrayal so unexpected that your mind couldn't process it. Maybe it was exhaustion so deep that you literally didn't have energy to think, only to react from pure instinct. Whatever it was for you specifically, it took you to a place where you were operating on autopilot, where you were too tired to perform, too broken to pretend, too depleted to calculate the right response. You were just being without the energy to be anything other than what you truly are at your core. And in that moment, when no one was watching, when no one would have known if you chose differently, when you had every justification in the world to respond with bitterness, with revenge, with selfishness, with cruelty, with compromise, you didn't. Your automatic response, the one that came from your deepest essence when you were too exhausted to control it, was integrity. Maybe someone attacked you verbally, and your instinct wasn't to attack back, but to stay silent. Maybe you had access to information that could have benefited you at someone else's expense, and you simply couldn't use it. Maybe you were given an opportunity to expose someone who hurt you, and something in you said no. Maybe you faced a choice between your comfort and someone else's well-being, and without even thinking about it, you chose their well-being. Maybe you were alone with temptation, and no one would have ever known, and you walked away anyway. The specific situation doesn't matter. What matters is this. Your goodness is no longer something you do. It is something you are. Your integrity is no longer a conscious choice you make when you have energy. It is your default setting, your automatic operating system, and that, chosen one, that is what heaven was waiting to see. Because here is the truth they don't teach you in religious settings. The spiritual realm doesn't care about your theology. It doesn't care how many scriptures you memorized. It doesn't care how many spiritual books you read or how many hours you spent in prayer or meditation. What it cares about is this one question. Who are you when you don't have the energy to be anyone other than who you truly are? Who are you when the masks fall off because you are too tired to hold them up? Who are you when no one is watching and no one will ever know what you chose? That is the only question that matters, because that is the only thing that reveals whether your transformation is real or performed. Scripture says, "The crucible is for silver and the furnace for gold. But the Lord tests the heart." And 3 days ago, your heart was tested when you didn't even know you were being watched. And the answer was so clear, so undeniable, so confirmed, that the observation deck in the spiritual realm, the place where assigned angels monitor human development, erupted, not in applause because that is a human thing, but in what can only be described as recognition. The kind of recognition that happens when someone finally becomes who they were always meant to be, when potential becomes reality, when preparation becomes readiness, when training becomes mastery. Now, let me explain what is going to happen at 3:33 this morning and why that specific time matters. First, understand that time in the spiritual realm doesn't work the same way it works in physical reality, but there are certain moments where the veil between dimensions becomes thinner, where spiritual activity can penetrate physical reality more easily, where downloads can happen with less interference, and 3:33 in the morning is one of those moments. Here is why. Between 3 and 4 in the morning, human consciousness is at its lowest activity level. Most people are in their deepest sleep. The collective mental chatter that normally fills the spiritual atmosphere is quieted. And in that quietness, in that stillness, the spiritual realm can work with precision. But 3:33 specifically carries additional significance. In sacred mathematics, which is not superstition but pattern recognition across all wisdom traditions, the number 3 represents divine completeness. Father, Son, Spirit, birth, life, death, beginning, middle, end, past, present, future, mind, body, soul. It is the number of wholeness, and when you see it tripled, 333, it is a signal of completion, upon completion, upon completion. A cycle ending, a phase graduating, a level being cleared. That is why, throughout history, major spiritual transitions often involve some variation of the number 3. Jesus was in the tomb 3 days. Jonah was in the whale 3 days. The Israelites journeyed 3 days before Passover. It is a pattern, and tonight at 3:33, your pattern completes. Here is what is actually going to happen. Your soul, while your conscious mind is asleep, is going to be brought before what ancient texts called the court of heaven. Not physically, your body will still be in your bed, but dimensionally, spiritually, your soul is going to stand in a space where spiritual authority is granted, and 3 specific authorizations are going to be given to you. These aren't permissions you can use any way you want. These are spiritual capacities that activate based on your character, which is why you had to pass the test first. The universe doesn't give weapons to people who might misuse them. It only gives power to those who have proven they will not abuse it. These aren't magic powers. They are spiritual capacities that develop as you walk in alignment with your purpose. They grow stronger with use, deeper with practice, more refined with experience. Authorization 1. Accelerated wisdom. This is the ability to understand situations, people, and circumstances at a level that bypasses intellectual analysis. This is knowing without knowing how you know. You are going to start knowing things you have no logical reason to know. You are going to sense what is happening beneath the surface of conversations. someone will be telling you one thing, but you will hear what they are really saying underneath their words. You are going to feel when something is off before you can explain why. You will walk into a room and immediately sense the spiritual atmosphere. You will meet someone new and instantly understand their true character. Not what they project, but who they actually are. You are going to understand people's true motives without them telling you. You will see through manipulation, recognize deception, identify genuine intention, and you will do this not through suspicion or cynicism, but through clarity. This isn't psychic ability. This is discernment elevated to a level where your spirit reads spiritual activity the way your eyes read physical activity. And it is going to feel so natural that you will not even realize it is supernatural. You will just know things. And later, when you are proven right, when the situation unfolds exactly as you sensed it would, you will look back and wonder how you knew. That is how you will recognize this authorization is active. Authorization 2. Unshakable peace. This is not happiness. Happiness depends on circumstances. This is a supernatural stability that remains steady regardless of what is happening around you. Chaos can be erupting externally, but internally, you remain centered, grounded, steady. Storms can be raging around you, but you will have access to a stillness that doesn't make logical sense given the situation. Other people will be panicking about the same circumstances you are facing, but you will have peace. Not because you are in denial, not because you are disconnected from reality, but because you are connected to a source of peace that transcends circumstances. This peace doesn't come from having your life together. It comes from being connected to something bigger than your life. And people will notice. They will ask you how you stay so calm. They will not understand it because they are trying to create peace through control, but you will have peace through connection. Authorization 3. Spiritual authority. This is the most misunderstood one, so listen carefully. This is not the ability to dominate people. It is not permission to be controlling or manipulative. It is not a license to force your will on others. Spiritual authority is the capacity to speak truth into situations and watch reality shift. It is the ability to pray for someone and see tangible results in their life. It is the power to bless people and watch doors open for them that were previously closed. It is the anointing to break spiritual bondage without even knowing you did it. Simply by being present, simply by carrying the frequency of freedom. People in your presence are going to start making breakthrough decisions they have been avoiding for years. Addictions will lose their grip. Fear will release its hold. Shame will lose its voice. Not because you are preaching at them, not because you are trying to fix them, but because the atmosphere around you carries a frequency that disrupts dysfunction and activates freedom. Jesus told his disciples, "Well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things tonight." Heaven speaks those same words over you. Now, let me tell you about the practical changes you are going to notice in your daily life, because spiritual commissioning doesn't just affect your inner world. It affects how you move through the physical world in tangible, observable ways. Change 1. People are going to respond to you differently. Some people are going to be drawn to you without understanding why. They are going to seek your advice, want to be around you, feel safe in your presence. These are people whose spirits recognize the authority you now carry. They might not be able to articulate it, but something in them knows that you carry something real, something they need, something that brings clarity to their confusion. But here is what you also need to prepare for. Others are going to be repelled by you, also, without understanding why. They are going to feel uncomfortable around you, avoid you, make excuses not to engage. These are people whose dysfunction cannot coexist with your peace. Their chaos recognizes your stillness as a threat. Both reactions, the attraction and the repulsion, are confirmation that your frequency changed. Don't take either one personally. Both are simply evidence that something shifted in the spiritual realm that is now manifesting in the physical realm. Change 2. Your tolerance for certain environments is going to disappear. Places you used to tolerate, settings you used to endure, situations you used to navigate, they are going to drain you instantly. Conversations you used to participate in are going to feel toxic. Entertainment you used to consume is going to feel empty. Relationships that operate on surface level are going to feel exhausting. Your spiritual sensitivity has been turned up, and low-frequency environments are going to deplete you rapidly. So when a place feels wrong, leave. When a conversation feels toxic, exit. When an environment drains you, remove yourself. You are not being rude. You are not being judgmental. You are being obedient to your discernment. Change 3. Your relationship with time is going to shift dramatically. You are going to feel an urgency, not anxiety, but a sense that time is precious and every moment matters. Things that used to occupy hours of your day are going to feel pointless. Distractions that used to consume you are going to lose their appeal. Scrolling that used to fill empty spaces is going to feel like time wasted. Your purpose is activating deeper, and every moment spent on things that don't align with that purpose is going to feel like time stolen from what you are meant to be doing. Change 4. Your connection with the divine is going to transform from something you do into something you are. It is going to stop being a scheduled activity and start being a constant state. You are going to find yourself in continuous communion. Prayer will not be something you remember to do. It will be the background frequency of your consciousness. The line is always open. The connection is always active. You just tune in, and tuning in becomes as natural as breathing. Change 5. Your finances and resources are going to move differently. Provision is going to show up in unexpected ways, through unexpected channels, at exactly the right time. You are going to notice a pattern where you always have exactly what you need, exactly when you need it. Not always what you want, but always what you need. This isn't about becoming wealthy. This is about divine favor operating in real time. The universe provides for those who are aligned with their assignment. Now, let me address a critical question that might be forming in your mind. What if I don't feel those signs tomorrow? What if nothing seems different? Does that mean I didn't pass? Does that mean this message wasn't for me? Here is what you need to understand. The spiritual realm operates on divine timing, not human expectation. The signs might unfold gradually over days or weeks. They might appear so subtly that you only recognize them in hindsight. Or they might hit you all at once in a moment of sudden awareness. The key is to stay aware, stay attentive, stay open so you recognize them when they appear. Don't create a checklist and panic if everything doesn't manifest by noon tomorrow. This isn't a formula. This is a relationship, and relationships unfold organically. And here is something else you need to know. Sometimes spiritual promotion comes with increased resistance. The moment you receive something powerful, the enemy of your soul attacks immediately to try to get you to give up what you just received. So, if tomorrow feels harder, if unexpected obstacles show up, if challenges intensify, don't interpret that as evidence that nothing changed. Interpret it as evidence that something major changed and opposition is trying to steal it before you can walk in it. Now let me tell you what not to do, because this is just as important as what to do. First, don't announce your commission. Don't post about it on social media. Don't tell everyone you meet that heaven just promoted you. The spiritual realm values secrecy during the initial phases of empowerment. There is a period where what you received needs to be protected, held close, kept sacred. Share it only with people who would understand. People who operate at a similar frequency. People who will not mock what they don't comprehend. Let the transformation speak through your life before you speak about the transformation. Let people see the change before you announce the change. Actions always speak louder than announcements. Second, don't try to force the authorizations to activate. Don't try to manufacture wisdom you don't naturally have. Don't try to create peace through mental techniques. Don't try to exercise authority you aren't genuinely carrying. These capacities work naturally when they are needed, not artificially when they are forced. Trust the process. Trust that when wisdom is needed, it will be there. When peace is threatened, it will hold. When authority is required, it will flow. But it flows through surrender, not through striving. Third, don't compare your experience with anyone else's. Your commissioning is unique to you. Your authorizations will manifest in ways that are specific to your assignment. Someone else's testimony might sound different from yours. That doesn't mean one is real and one is false. It means heaven customizes its commissions based on individual calling. And finally, remember this. Being commissioned doesn't mean you never struggle again. It doesn't mean life suddenly becomes easy. It doesn't mean you will not face battles or walk through valleys or encounter opposition. What it means is that you now have access to spiritual resources that help you handle struggles differently. You still face battles, but now you have weapons you didn't have before. You still walk through valleys, but now you have guidance you didn't have before. You still encounter opposition, but now you have authority you didn't have before. The difference is not the absence of difficulty. The difference is the presence of empowerment. If this message confirms something you felt but couldn't name, type 777 in the comments as a declaration that you recognize your testing season is complete and your commissioning has begun. Let your 777 witness to others that transformation is real, that tests do end, that promotion does come. And if this resonates deeply, make sure you subscribe to Chosen Pathfinders and turn on notifications. What happens after tonight? You are going to need ongoing guidance and confirmation. This channel exists for that purpose, to help you navigate walking in spiritual authority so you don't feel crazy and you don't walk alone. If this message brought breakthrough clarity, hit that like button. Your engagement helps this reach others who are in the middle of their final test, exhausted and broken, needing to know they can endure one more day. Your like could help this message find them at their exact moment of need, and if you feel led to support this work in helping other chosen ones find their path, there is a super thanks button below this video. Your support, whatever amount feels right, helps us continue creating content for those walking this journey. But only if you feel called. Your presence here is already valuable. One more thing. If while you were listening, someone came to your mind, someone who you know is going through their own final test, someone who is exhausted and broken and operating on autopilot, share this message with them, because they need to know that what they are experiencing isn't random suffering. It is the final exam, and they might be closer to passing than they think. Your share could be the confirmation that helps them endure one more day, and that one more day might be all they need to prove their character and activate their own commissioning. Chosen one. Your loneliness wasn't abandonment. It was assessment. Your exhaustion wasn't punishment. It was preparation. Your breaking wasn't destruction. It was transformation. And tonight at 3:33, heaven confirms what you already proved. You are ready. Welcome to your coronation.